This is absolutely the best Phase 4 figure. No, come back. That was a joke. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch-up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I worked on Black Panther from Wakanda Forever and added all the missing details back in. I had to make sure all the strokes were as clean as possible. That was a great figure. Check it out. Speaking of great figures, here's another one that's really good. She-Hulk is very well sculpted and she's pretty screen accurate. That said, I actually passed on this figure a couple of times. I don't think She-Hulk is anyone's favorite MCU character, and I can't really picture her with my other MCU figures either. But then something clicked in my head and got me very excited, and I knew I had to get this She-Hulk figure. So, let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. Maybe it's due to the lack of accessories. My first impression of the figure was that it looks too basic, but that was before I had it in hand. But now that I have it, I realize this figure is made out of all original parts, and I don't see any missing paint. The only inaccuracy I see are her shoes. It's supposed to be white and purple, not black. It's also refreshing to have a female figure that is relatively easy to balance. They also did a great job with the face. It looks very realistic and natural, and I really appreciate the green highlights in her hair as well. So overall, there is nothing wrong with this figure. Great job, Hasbro. The only nitpick I have is the green they used. It is very minty, and doesn't match my Age of Ultron Hulk. I'm gonna do some minor touch-ups to make She-Hulk looks less minty and more lifelike. So, can I make it? Before I paint, I'm gonna lightly sand the limbs to roughen up the surface, so that the paint can grip onto the plastic better. The minty green color just doesn't look that hulky. It is hard to describe the type of green I'm going for. I'm going for a brownish green, but unlike the Hulk, I can't make it look too dark or muddy. The Hulk is often depicted as a scary, violent monster, but She-Hulk on the other hand has control of herself and her design reflects that. So the overall paint job needs to look more put together and not like a raging monster. Alright, that green didn't do too much. It still looks too minty. Let me add a wash of brown to desaturate and darken the skin tone a bit. For those who are wondering why I don't use airbrush or any other type of spray, it's because the room I work in has no ventilation. I'm gonna suffocate if I do any type of spray work here. It also doesn't help that I usually work on my figures after work hours, late at night, so I can't really film myself outside at night as well. Ideally, I would love to be able to do airbrush, but it's too much of a hassle and a potential health issue. I'm not against it, but it's just not feasible for me as of this moment. One day though. Alright, next. I'm gonna darken the center of her suit a bit. It's not showing on camera, but it appears more like a deep dark purple on the figure. But I personally think it looks better black. This will also mattify the texture slightly. As for the purple areas of her costume, I'm gonna add a bit of blue to give it more dimension. I don't like using black as a shading color. I think this blue will work better. Alright, to further differentiate the different textures, I'm gonna mix myself a reflective purple and apply a thin coat of that all over the purple areas. So these areas will end up with a subtle reflective finish, kinda like how it looks here. Alright, that's looking pretty cool. The suit already looks way more three-dimensional. Okay, now I'm going to use the glossy varnish to highlight those thin lines on the costume. That way, there'll be three kinds of finishes on the suit: the matte black, the subtle metallic purple, and these glossy lines. Is it necessary? Not really. On to the shoes. I just need to make the black patches purple. This is gonna be challenging because the purple isn't really showing on top of the black, unless I do really thick coats. But now increase the risk of me making mistakes. I'm gonna try my best off camera and hope for the best. Here's She-Hulk's head. Great likeness, great face, and great hair. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. All I have to do is to match the skin tone to the body. Uh-oh, the head looks too green and a bit patchy. Let me see if I can fix it. A bit better, but I'm still not happy with it. Be right back. Okay, that actually took a lot of work. When it was too green, it didn't look natural. I had to lighten and desaturate the green, but also make sure it wasn't drying patchy. I haven't done a humanoid face in a while. I forgot how hard this is. I'm not gonna touch the face anymore. I'm too scared to ruin it now. I'm gonna add a bit of glossy varnish to her hair to give her hair a bit more shine. In the show, her hair always has this healthy looking shine. Okay, here's the finished head. Oh, I thought I ruined it, but it now looks way more natural and more human than the original. The hair also looks bigger too for some reason. Alright, here's the finished figure. Oh my, the before looks oddly spooky. It's almost like it's radioactive. Or maybe it is gamma radioactive. Overall, the finished figure definitely looks way more natural. There are a few spots here and there that are slightly patchy. I was attempting to make it look like there's a bit of human skin color coming through. The minor touch-ups on the suit isn't that noticeable, but I do think the texture looks way better and more like an actual athletic gear. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Let me know down below. Overall, I still don't think this figure needed to be fixed. I would have been completely fine with it. The only issue I see is the original minty green color being too vibrant. But that's because I have a more natural looking green to compare with. This green is pretty difficult to get right. It did take me quite a while, and lots of trial and error to get it to look the way it does now, and it's still not perfect. Other than that, Hasbro pretty much nailed everything else. The suit, the face, and the hair look amazing. I'm also glad She-Hulk isn't wearing the same Converse everyone else is wearing. Alright, let's end this with a photo shoot. This screen is also quite difficult to capture on camera, but if you look closely, you can see the areas where I added a bit of paint to make the green appear more lifelike. It was quite tough to get it to look like this flesh tone coming through the green skin. If I add too much, it starts to look orange. And if I add too much shading, the colors becomes very dull. So it was a lot of back and forth of me trying to adjust the colors while trying to keep the layers thin, but also making sure the paint wasn't turning muddy. Okay, do not judge. For some reason, I couldn't figure out why She-Hulk came with two jazz hands. I was like, how am I supposed to pose with these hands? The Illuminati? The confused? The mime. Alright, I hope you enjoy. Oh wait, I almost forgot. The actual reason why I decided to get She-Hulk was because I really wanted to recreate a specific scene or two from the show. The show itself wasn't that great, but you have to admit at least the finale tried something unique and different for the MCU. That scene where She-Hulk broke the fourth wall when the viewer tried to exit out of Disney Plus was unexpected and fun. And it's gonna be even more fun to recreate. But I want to put my own spin on it. I am going to replace the images of the Marvel heroes with my photos that I do at the end of every video. I am going to replace a few characters with the ones that I like more. For the Marvel logo, I'm going to use the Marvel Legends logo instead, since these are Marvel Legends figures. As for the background, I'm going to put some of my favorite recreations, like the nighttime scene from Moon Knight, the Citadel from Loki, and the Quantum Tunnel. Nice. All there's left are the menu items. Ta-da! Here's the home screen printed and attached to the wooden frame so it can stand on its own. This looks pretty cool as a backdrop. Now all I need to do is to cut out the She-Hulk button. Done. Oh, I had to shift the top row a bit to the right because I forgot about the borders at the back. I could end the video here, but I'm not completely satisfied. I want the home screen to look more 3D because I love 3D things. Ta-da! All the figures and the menu items pop against the background now. I also painted the wooden edges black so they don't stand out. Everything is ready. That means it is time to recreate the scene. Hi-ya! Oh my god, this is so fun. Let me do it again. Oh, that wasn't as smooth. One more time. Oh my god, it's so satisfying. I can do this all day. This is the real reason why I got this figure, so I can do silly things like this. Phase 4 in the Disney Plus shows haven't been the best for the MCU. I'll admit that. But I think Marvel is aware of that too now. And to be fair, Phase 4 isn't all that bad. We got Scarlet Witch, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, the Loki series and others. And I made some of my favorite displays with these characters too. As an MCU fan, I do hope it gets better from here. I think it's okay for it to stumble. It is not a fail if you stand back up and make positive changes. It is not about the mistakes, it's about what you learn from them. In this case, I should have made the hole bigger so She-Hulk can fit through it. But I find it even more hilarious this way where you can only fit a limb or two and she's struggling to climb through it. A happy accident if you will. Besides, if I make it larger, I may not be able to fit it into my shelf. What do you think of my Disney Plus home screen? You know, after a while, I don't even notice the 3D effect of my images at the top. I could have just printed a screen grab of the menu, but I think this display captures the spirit of DIY projects. Is there an easier way to do this? Yes. Did I need to add those extra elements? Not really. But does it spark joy? Absolutely. When I look at it, I am reminded of a lot of my previous work, and I'm just so proud of myself. I hope you like my work as much as I do. Give it a like and subscribe to see more content like this. There's still one more scene from She-Hulk I want to recreate. Maybe next time though. As always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.